super sundaes to delicious dipped cones to Blizzard Bliss. Hungry for more? We're also serving up the best burgers, baskets, and crunchy tacos around. For the best treats and eats in Texas, nobody treats you like DQ.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
That's where my car wreck happened, right here on this freeway. I was stopped in traffic and I got rear-ended.
Partner car wreck, I'm attorney Ted Lyons.
The insurance company offered me nothing. Bye, Felicia.
Hurt in a car wreck and need money? Call Long Car Lion Jenkins, the Strong Arm.
Strong Arm got me $134,000. Write it down and take a picture.
Car wreck? Don't gamble with your settlement. Call in the Strong Arm.
Long Car Lion Jenkins, 800, then all sevens.
How do we make your glasses the same day? It's all done in store. Our skilled techs handle your glasses from start to finish, getting them back the same day. Quality, affordable glasses made in store, only at iMart Express.
Sunday, April 3rd.
Legendary.
The great athletes and rich history of historically black colleges and universities will be on full display in New Orleans with the inaugural HBCU All-Star Basketball Game. HBCUs celebrating the best in black college basketball.
Legendary.
Sunday, April 3rd on CBS.
Savor the perfect smile. It's a tradition unlike any other. The Masters, April on CBS.
Is a New York Times bestselling author and motivational speaker who has turned her personal challenges into a mission to help others. Please welcome Jen Hatmaker. Jen! Girl, I'm so excited to have you here. I've admired you for so many years. So tell us about you being a motivational speaker.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
I've loved you for so long. So I'm an author.
Yes.
And I've written a bunch of books, and I'm a speaker. I've done it for about 15 years. I host a podcast called For the Love with Jen Hatmaker, and I host this huge book club.
Yes,
and
you
so I just love women, and that's who I serve. And so I believe in women as basically the answer to everything that ails society.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, Jen, I love listening to you because you talk about balance, and times are so stressful now. We're worried about our kids. We're worried about if we're gonna work. How do you stay positive in this stressful time?
It's hard for everyone right now. It's a hard time to be a human person in the world. It doesn't really matter how shiny your life looks, how well everything seems to be going. There's just, everything is on fire. And so my answer to this isn't really innovative, and it's not new, and it doesn't sound fancy, but I'm absolutely convinced that love is the answer for us. I really mean it. I think love is powerful. I find love to be a genuine solution to loneliness and sorrow and pain and isolation and all the things that sort of plague our culture right now. And so I'm a big believer in we over me. What matters to you matters to me. Your kids are my kids. What affects you affects me. And so I believe that if we can hang on tight to love for ourselves and for each other, that is the solution to these hard times.
Ooh. Now let's get into your story, because you are a woman of faith. And I know that you got severe backlash for supporting the LGBTQ community. Right. Can you talk about that?
Sure. I have been a woman of faith in the Christian community for a long time. And in 2016, which was a rocky year, I sort of came out, if you will, in a big article that just unequivocally for me, I was a fan, an ally, a supporter of the LGBTQ community, that I believed that they were beautifully and perfectly made, that I would just run down the aisle to officiate a gay wedding, that I was their friend and I was their supporter. And the backlash was immediate and vicious. And so the thing was for me, I just did not believe that the religious structures were speaking for God. I saw those as two separate tracks. And so my books were pulled off shelves. They were put out of print. I was canceled on every speaking event. I was canceled, period. And so the price to pay for that conviction was my belonging. in that community,
Yes.
that you just don't get to step out of those lines. And I knew that going into it, but I knew that I was either going to get to hold on to my convictions, or I was going to get to hold on to my career as I knew it, but I could not have both. So I picked my convictions, I picked my integrity, and I haven't regretted it. And then, of course, and I'm so proud to be a mom of this gorgeous gay girl and really a surrogate mom to the whole gay community. That's how I feel.
I know, I saw you with your sign at the Gay Pride Parade going, do you need a hug?
That's right.
Which I love. I'm going to join you. I'm going to join you because I love giving hugs.
Yeah.
But I want to know, do you have any advice for religious parents whose children are struggling with their sexuality? Because that's a hard thing for kids. They want to come out and then you have religiousness here, but they're scared. And they want to talk to their parents, but they can't. What advice would you give?
Thanks for bringing that up, Sherry. First of all, whether or not parents decide to be on their kid's side or not, your kid is gay if they're gay. And so what I would love to tell parents who feel that they have to pick here for some reason is that you do not. That is your beloved kid. That's the same kid you took to kindergarten. That is the same kid who won't eat broccoli. That is the same kid who their art is crap, but you put it on the refrigerator.
Right.
You know? That's your kid.
Yeah.
That's your
He told me it was a category 2, year 2. I
Hot. Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Baker with breaking news. Right now, we're hearing from Governor Greg Abbott, who's in Crockett right now, sharing the state's response to last night's severe weather. Earlier today, he issued a disaster declaration for 16 counties. We'll go to the governor now in Crockett for the latest. Looks like he's coming in as we speak right now, getting ready for that event. Looks like our cameraman down there is gearing up. But obviously, he issued that disaster declaration for 16 counties, including Houston County as well. So we're keeping a close eye on this, and we're waiting for him to come in as we speak. Now, obviously, these storms took effect over a huge amount of space across East Texas last night. This is just one of a number of areas that were hit in East Texas and in other parts of the state, too, in Central Texas and northwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we're certainly keeping an eye on that. You can see here in Madisonville, Texas, take a look at this roof, completely uprooted there on the side. Certainly some damage there, sad to see. These storms moved all across our state last night. As we were saying yesterday evening during the newscast and during our weather cut-in, this was a multi-hour event. This was 7, 8, 9 hours across the state. You can see that they're trying to clear some trees. And look at that roof damage also in Madisonville. Lots going on there. Unfortunate for that building. This is a wild video from Elgin. Take a look at this. There's a truck in that video, and you won't see it until the end. You can see it right there, and it pops right back up in the middle of that tornado rotation, pops right back up with the lights still on. So this was all across our state yesterday because of those storms. The truck appears to be continuing to move, at least on some level right there. This video has been making the rounds on the internet all throughout the day and on social media. So certainly something to keep an eye on. Jacksboro as well. Now, this was one of the first tornadoes that moved through yesterday afternoon, just northwest of the DFW area. It's in Jack County, and you can see what looks like the school gymnasium there. We knew there was damage to the school gymnasium, to some hospitals in the area, to some homes in the area as well. So Governor Abbott's entering now. We'll see what he has to say about that disaster declaration for 16 counties across our state as those storms moved in yesterday and what we can expect in the coming days. Here's the governor now.
Well, Houston County has faced a horrific storm, a massive tornado that ripped apart substantial regions of Houston County. Despite the travesty of what has occurred to property, a miracle is that nobody lost their life. You know, property can always be replaced. A life cannot be replaced. And so through effective emergency management, through effective self-preservation by the people who live in Houston County, they were able to withstand this storm with everybody still alive. Now, I understand there have been approximately 10 people who have sustained injuries, one a very severe injury. And I want to keep them in our prayers for a swift and effective recovery for those injuries. And may God be with them as they work their way through the challenges they're facing right now. But they too are fortunate that they sustained those injuries still alive and able to return to their home. It's my understanding that there are about 30 structures that have been damaged in the area. That's an early assessment. As we go for the next day or two and do better assessment, we're going to be able to more specifically identify exactly how many structures have been damaged. Of those damaged structures, about 20 to 25 of them are homes. Some of those homes are places where residents will not be able to stay right now. In typical Houston County fashion, many friends and family members are taking in others who are displaced from home right now. There were about 72 people in shelter, I think in this location last night. They may not be here tonight because of the care and love and support of their family and friends. At this time, we're not able to predict exactly how long it will be before these people will be able to return to their homes. Some may have lost their home altogether. Others may need minor repairs. Others may merely need the power to come back on. So hopefully we will be getting most of these people back into their homes very quickly. That said, as the mayor told me earlier in a meeting, she said that the reality is that most of these people are still in shock. And it's going to take a few hours, if not a few days, for people to come to a reckoning about what exactly has happened and what they need to grapple with and what they need to do in order to take next steps forward. Now, one of those steps that is being undertaken as we speak right now is working to restore power to homes. Understand that when a tornado or tornadoes rip through a county, it's going to topple over power lines and power structure that make it incapable of delivering power to somebody's house. And it takes a while to get those power lines back up. Encore says that they should be able to complete their operations perhaps as early as by midnight tonight. There will be a segment of homes that receive power from Houston County Electric Co-op. And because of the damage done in those areas, those folks may be without power for a day or two. It's premature to make a definitive assessment on that power outage at this time. Just know that those in charge of providing and restoring power are working around the clock to get that power up and running again. Another challenge that is typical when you have tornadoes rip through a particular area is there is damage to the ability for people to obtain communication through cellular devices. That's already improving as we speak, and that too will be up and running as quickly as possible. One thing that we want to ensure, and that is, as a state through the Texas Division of Emergency Management, we need to make a dollar assessment of the damages that have occurred. This is important for purposes of establishing a federal disaster declaration. And to the extent that homeowners do have the ability to provide that assessment, I want to give you a location where you can provide that information. It is damages.tdem.texas.gov. I'll tell you again, did I say damages? I meant damage. Is damage.tdem.texas.gov. You can report it to that site. In addition to that, because of an inability to communicate electronically, the county may be, or the city may be setting up a location where information like that may be able to be shared. I want people in Houston County to know that there is a dedicated person from the Texas Division of Emergency Management who's focused on Houston County. The state of Texas is going to stay working shoulder to shoulder with Houston County every step of the way, all the way through. That said, one thing that I know, and that is Houston County is blessed with great leadership that is loving and caring and supporting all the people in this community. It includes Houston County Judge, the Houston County Sheriff, the Crockett Mayor, the Crockett City Manager, the Crockett Police Chief, the Crockett Fire Chief, as well as State Senator Nichols and State Representative Ashby. And I could go on. There's a long list. You all know all of your officials around here and what they do. This is a community when disaster strikes, people come together and is on display once again and will continue to be on display. Now, I also want to commend all of the first responders in Houston County. Many of those first responders are volunteers. It could be volunteer firefighters or volunteer law enforcement officers, as well as professional firefighters and volunteer officers. Everybody came together and responded extraordinarily effectively, putting their lives on the line, many of them. And so they should all be commended for the way that they responded to come together. Now, unfortunately, the state of Texas was affected by tornadoes in areas larger than just Houston County. And I have issued a disaster declaration for 16 counties at this time. They include Bastrop, Cass, Cook, Grayson, Guadalupe, Houston, Jack, Madison, Marion, Montague, Nacogdoches, Panola, Rusk, Upshur, Williamson, and Wise. As we learn more information, there may be additional counties added to this disaster declaration. What this declaration does, it ensures that Houston County is going to have the resources they need to be able to respond to this devastating storm, as well as it will accelerate the process for which they can be able to recover, to make that recover happen a lot quicker. With all that said, I would like to now turn things over to the county judge to tell you more information about what's going on in the county, and then we'll have other speakers after him.
Thank you, Governor. I've done a lot of welcomes, but not many like this. I do welcome everyone here today. It's not for the reason we would like for it to be, but I especially would like to thank our Governor, Greg Abbott, Chief Nim Kidd. We have our State Representative Trina Ashby, our Senator Robert Nichols. I can't say enough, Governor, about our local first responders here. As I looked around today, both from the air and from the ground, that the linemen that are working, that have been brought in from outside Houston County, they're working tirelessly to be able to restore the electricity. If it can happen by midnight tonight, would be just unbelievable. Also, we have with us, the Red Cross is with us. Chester Jordan is with us. Yes, sir. Thank you for being here with all the assistance that you are providing. You know, the DPS, I would like to thank the DPS today. They provided a helicopter for...
You've been listening to Governor Abbott's press conference in Crockett as he details the storms that went through last night and how the state's responding. I just want to recap some of the things the governor said. First, he said a miracle is that nobody lost their life in Houston County. What they do know is approximately 10 people have sustained injuries there, and then 30 structures have been damaged, and that's based on an early assessment right now. About 72 people sheltered last night as well. And of course, power crews are working to get power back to affected homes and report damages to the state's website. They have a dedicated site where you can report damages if you're in Crockett County or any other county in East Texas that's affected by the storms from last night. That website is damage.tdem.texas.gov. The state of Texas will stay shoulder to shoulder, the governor said, to work with Houston County all the way through this. And I wanted to bring this up as well. In that declaration, those 16 counties include several counties in East Texas. I'll just read through those. It's Bastrop, Cass, Cook, Grayson, Guadalupe, Houston, Jack, Madison, Marion, Montague, Nacogdoches, Panola, Rusk, Upshur, Williamson, and Wise County. So you can see several of those counties, particularly in deep East Texas, as well as some other ones as well, Upshur County, affected by that declaration. Of course, stay connected to CBS 19. We'll have more on this all throughout the night and on our website at cbs19.tv. The news at 5 will start shortly. We'll return you to your regular programming.